Welcome to RacketHive, the badminton podcast, the ultimate podcast buzzing with all things badminton. I'm your host, Kenneth. And whether you're a seasoned player, a passionate fan, or just curious about anything about badminton, this is a place for you. Today, we are thrilled to welcome our special guest, Coach David King. He is an ex-international player who reached a career high of like a 108, if I'm correct, in the world men's doubles. With 8 years of coaching experience, David currently runs the Badminton Zone YouTube channel. In this episode, he is here to share exciting news about his online coaching platform. He's releasing this week. Let's get ready for another insightful episode of RacketHive podcast. So how are you, David?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. Very good. Been coaching today already, so having a little break now, and obviously chatting to you.
All right, I'll be a bit rest right now. Are you going to coach tonight?
Yeah, I'm coaching until 9 p.m. tonight. So we've got a good young group tonight who we're working with. So got some exciting players coming through.
Yeah. I personally coach by someone else as well, and then like I understand how busy is a coach can get. Like they are like literally going left and right, and then things go crazy with like someone that turns up, But being coached and being coached by someone else, I guess is different. So yeah. Let's talk about. Can you share some like highlight from your journey as an international badminton player, and what what's reaching a career high, and how does it feel like reaching a career high of 108 in men's doubles?
So I mean, a little overview. Like I play England juniors all through from the age of about 10 to 18 through my junior career, and played a couple of World Junior Championships, and got a couple of European junior medals. Played the likes of Anders Antonsen and like Tomo Popov. They were sort of my era of players. Then I obviously went to the senior circuit, which I started off in singles. And the singles senior circuit is very, very tough. It is so deep in high level players. And it's singles is a massive jump from junior to senior. Mostly physically, it takes a long time for you to adapt physically. And that's why I think it's so impressive for these young French boys who are doing so well at such a young age. And it shows how much effort they've been putting into their physicality and almost playing the long game of, obviously they've done well in their junior career, but it's all about that senior career and getting their bodies ready for that. I played singles, went around the circuit quite a bit, and then decided I wanted to play doubles. I lived with at university with a mate who I'd played doubles with through my junior career, and we sort of got back together, started playing some tournaments, and we started doing really quite well. Got to some semi-finals and finals, some good international tournaments, we kind of started going up the rankings, got to 108, and that's sort of where I started. I decided to kind of call it a day on my badminton career at that point. There were many kind of reasons, kind of different things coming into play with but no, I'm really, really pleased and proud of where I got to though.
All right. Were you playing like a U19, U18, those kind of like event before you graduate to a international player from junior to senior?
So juniors, I was all the way up to under 19s. So I was playing sort of those events, but from the age of about 16 I started playing senior internationals, so just to get you kind of like into those senior sort of ranks, and it helped with ranking. So when I went to the Europeans, I had a European juniors, I had a decent seeding because I'd managed to play a few tournaments and get my ranking up as well. So it just helps. The earlier you can sort of get on the stage, I think the better, because you get that experience.
All right, that's good. Such a big achievement that you have done just in the age of 16 here. And what motivated you to transition from competing at an international level to coaching? Like, how has that experience as a player informed your coaching philosophy?
I think it's obviously it's your natural sort of like thing to go to when you I left university in 2019, and obviously like trying to get a job, I was like straight into coaching naturally a bit, and then COVID hit as well. So battling a coach through COVID's quite tough as well. So, but I think the great thing is with coaching is I'm doing what I love every single day. In terms of I'm playing badminton at the end of the day. I'm talking about a sport that I deeply fell in love with and really enjoyed playing every single day. So I think the enjoyment naturally comes there, and that brings the motivation to see players just kind of progress and learn new things. And with coaching, it's something I learned over my years of coaching was kind of even though you know quite a lot about badminton, there's so much more to know when it comes to coaching. Different ways to explain different techniques, things I've tweaked my game just from kind of really thinking more about the game itself. Different ways to hold the racket, different ways to play certain shots, different ways to move. And I think it helps you in your game because you start thinking more about the game.
Yeah. I think what separates us as in that game amateur with you as an international player is you really know the inside on what the opponent is doing, as in every single aspect. Whereas what I'm doing is like I'm just simply the most I do is I just predict the next move, or I just predict where should I serve and then the next free move. And I just can't really focus on like right, this guy didn't do well on his like footwork. I should have like do a different kind of net shot or kill shot, right? And what do you enjoy the most as in like as in a player and as in a coach?
What do I enjoy most about player and being a coach?
Yeah, I mean separately, as in like
separately. So I mean, as a player, like to be honest, even though I did probably my best in doubles, I just love singles. I'm doing a Road to Nationals series on my YouTube channel at the moment, where I'm sort of getting back into playing singles again. I'm going to try and play the Nationals in February. I just love singles because it's a bit like chess. In your kind of maneuvering your opponent into different positions before finally actually making that killer move. And that's what I love so much about singles, because doubles is great, but doubles looks great from an external view because it is frantic, it's fast, it's explosive, it's crazy. Yeah. Singles is a bit more of a thinking game. And that's the part I loved about that. And as a coach, I think the best thing is when you often get this a lot with adults as well, because they're very bought into their own game, of when that little kind of thing clicks and suddenly something they've been struggling with or worrying about for ages just suddenly works. As like often with the rotation of how you should use your forearm to hit an overhead clear or something, a lot of people struggle with that. And when it finally clicks and they get this instant power that they haven't had before, it's really like a real nice feeling, and you go home feeling, you know what, that's been a good session.
Is that something like the instant power is like the way that you hold your grip and you
grip, all that being able to squeeze the racket better instead of just gripping. So most people grip way too tight, and actually everyone could just get used to just holding just with your index finger and thumb with the racket,
right?
And learn to hold it looser.
Yeah. That's already a golden nugget that you guys can learn from already. Could you provide us like two more, as in a coach, as in a player, like what we can learn from you, as in like the instant thing that we can implement to our game to improve our game?
Oh, little nuggets. Okay, well the grip's probably 100% number one. And being able to hold the grip looser, without a doubt. The second one would be to always think about how you can have a shorter swing, like in every single area of the court. How can you hit the shuttle shorter? And I think if you look at the Danish players and how they're taught and how they grow up, I mean, you think of all the Victor Axelsen, Anders Antonsen, their swings are so short. It adds deception, you can get power from it, but it also means that a lot less can go wrong. If you have a shorter swing, a lot less, you're going to miss hit it less. You're going to find the middle a lot more, and you will then find your shots are a lot better. So whether that's a forecourt lift, whether that's a drive, or even just an overhead, having a shorter swing in your overhead, using this rotation of your forearm more than necessarily a big wind up, you'll find a far more benefits just from finding those strings, the center of the strings far more. Right.
Cool. I'm going to do that. I'm definitely doing that tonight. Yeah. Okay. So you are the creator of the Badminton Zone YouTube channel.
Yes.
It became a very popular resources for player to go for. I really like the way that you coach your live session. What inspired you to get started with this channel? How did you decide the content you create for it?
So we started almost a year ago, like today. It was my friend Dean, who's on the channel, who it was his sort of kind of nugget in his brain, his idea, and he just approached me because he's the coach. He was my coach. He was a very, very good coach, very, very good player, top 40 in the world. Whereas I had the kind of the knowledge of social media, of videoing, editing, stuff like that. So it just worked together that we had this perfect cohesion of something that, and it really stemmed from being able to give kind of a different area for us to coach, like access more people. Like we've both been coaching this area a long time, and kind of you can only coach the people in your area. Whereas if we can give our knowledge to a much wider audience, it was sort of something we wanted to do down. We're both. I used to be good friends with, still am with Badminton Insight. So I went to university with Greg and Jenny, and obviously watching them grow their channel across the last 4 years has been amazing. And what they're doing is brilliant. So we wanted to come across a bit more as coaches. They're obviously players, so we're trying to go down a different avenue with that. That's how it really all started.
Right. So Badminton Insight doesn't coach, don't they?
They do coach, but no, they're very much. I mean, if you look at their content, it's very much we're players giving advice, giving some tips, and a lot of their videos are when they're out abroad at their tournaments. So they are obviously coaching, but from a player's point of view, we're trying to come from a bit more. We don't play anymore. We're coaches giving. That's why we have like our live lessons on there. And
I like that a lot. Yeah, I did learn a little bit one thing or two in there while you're doing the live session there.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah. New coach. Say your new coaching online platform. Could you tell us more about the platform you are launching?
Yeah, of course. So that is being launched this week. So we're super excited. That was sort of like the other sort of brain idea Dean had a year ago. The YouTube channel is sort of to grow our audience. This is what we want to do. And the whole idea is to give more and more people easy access to coaching. Coaching is getting a lot more inaccessible, whether it's financially, whether it's the accessibility of courts, like getting courts near us is really difficult. And it's a lot harder for people. I coach someone at the moment who can't get into a badminton club because they're not letting her because she's maybe not good enough. So her only way to play at the moment is to get paid for one-to-one coach sessions with me. But that's harder and harder when they cost more and more nowadays. So we've developed this online site. It's got over 200 videos on it at the moment, and we add new videos every week. And the idea is it gives kind of every single aspect you could think of in badminton. So we have coaching plans that give step-by-step guides to a certain area. So if you want to improve your doubles defense, we've got an 8-step coaching plan on how to improve your doubles defense. We've got library videos. So think of any shot in the game. We've done an in-depth breakdown of how to play that shot. We've got drills. So if you're going away to have a hit with a friend and you think, what different drills can I do to work on certain areas? We've got loads and loads of drills on there, and then off-court work as well. So we've got, if you want to work away from the court in the gym or want to do some speed and agility stuff, we've got exercises and workouts you can do on there. So it's very much, it's not there to replace coaching at all. It's there to be something you can add to your coaching currently, something you can kind of sit away and when you're at home in bed and be, how can I try and hit a reverse backhand slice? I can do that. So it's meant to be an addition. We got the idea from golf. So we're both big golfers, and there's a site just like it in golf that we both love and enjoy, because golf coaching is even more expensive nowadays. So it's a great way for us to learn for kind of like a fraction of the price you pay for a one-to-one lesson. So yeah, that's launching this week, and we've just been endorsed by Badminton England as well. So if you're a Badminton England member, you get 25% off. So it brings down the monthly price to just more than a cost of coffee every month. So it's very, very affordable. And there's an unlimited. Sorry, you go.
Is it a one-off base or is it like a subscription base?
So you can either pay per month or you can pay for a year. But there is a free trial on there as well. So you get an unlimited free trial. So you don't have to put any bank details in. You get just kind of a sort of taster of the site. And that goes on for as long as you want. So you can go get a good idea of it, and then see if you want to expand your knowledge.
What's the name of the platform?
It's the Badminton Zone. So www.thebadmintonzone.com. So
Right.
Okay. That's our site. So that would be. So if you're a Badminton England member, you'll get an email hopefully later this week with sort of an idea with a discount code on it, and you'll be able to see sort of what we've been spending the last 10 months doing and designing.
In what way do you believe technology, like online coaching platform, is transferring the way badminton coaching and learning?
I think it will never substitute coaching, because you need that one-on-one, that instant feedback, the eyesight of a coach to kind of overcome certain restrictions. Because sometimes people, it's down to feelings, and sometimes people may feel they're, for example, holding the grip the right way, but actually it's not until you actually break down their swing in slow motion, you see them twisting the grip in their hand before they hit the shot. And they go straight to panhandle, for example. But particularly with a lot of people where they are relatively good at watching and mimicking, I think the online videos, you see how good YouTube's getting now with all the content and how big it is. I think it's a great way for people to learn and understand the game in their own time and practice taking stuff away. And you definitely can improve from it. I mean, my golf's improved from YouTube videos. So it's definitely a fantastic way to improve. It would never. I'd never tell someone to stop their one-on-one sessions for online videos. I would say have your one-on-one session or your group session or whatever, and then go home and be adventurous with trying new stuff from the site.
Right. I'm a big time golfer as well. What handicap do you have?
What handicap? Yeah. It's not official, but I play off 12.
Oh, that's good.
No, that's not an official one. That's sort of like my average round when you accumulate it all.
Yeah. Funny thing is, like most of the badminton player I know, they play tennis, but not really golf. So it's good that you got a little bit of golf. I mean,
the trouble is we live in England, so you can only play golf like 3 times a year.
Oh yeah, and it's cheap as well in England to play golf. Where I came from is from Hong Kong. It costs like around £100 to play golf. But that's side subject. Okay, let's go back to the business. Okay. So would you guarantee, like after we watch the video from Badminton Zone, that we can turn from ourselves from beginner to a intermediate? Or
I mean, you can never guarantee anything. Don't think you can guarantee in one-to-one sessions that you're going to suddenly become better players. But I would say you would do well if you understood the video and you understand kind of, and you're one of those learners where you can take stuff away and really kind of take your time. And then, there's nothing stopping you at all. There's no 100% in life really. But the goal of the videos is we try to make them as simple as possible, but still in depth enough. So to kind of for people to be able to go away and learn.
Right. Makes sense, it's about like practicing the perfect, right? Yeah.
It's giving you sort of the insight into how to hit a certain shot, and because every single shot can be played in a slightly different way. Like everyone has different techniques, but if you understand the principles of that shot, you can then develop your technique from that.
Yeah. Okay. Any advice for players and coaches, like for those who wants to reach international player level or become coaches? What advice would you offer based on your experience?
If you're wanting to make the jump to international level, 100% work on your physical. I think when I was playing out there, like the hardest people to beat, who you think you should beat, were the ones who could just keep the shuttle coming back over the court and were physically fit. Like they were your hard grinds to get through. You're a better technical badminton player than them, but they just kept the shuttle coming back over. And then the really good international players are the ones who can do that with incredible skills and shots as well. But physicality doesn't rely on good technique and in terms of racket skills and stuff like that. You can go away and do that in your own time. You don't need a coach. You just need to work on the physicality of that.
Agree.
And that includes speed. And I think that's one of the differences as you go up the levels is the speed the game's played at. That's not just how fast they move, it's how fast they move the shuttle around the court. So you can continue to work on kind of moving that shuttle around quicker and upping that pace of play. That doesn't mean you're hitting flat all the time, but it means as you come to approach the shuttle, using a short technique to hit a high lift, turning your opponent constantly and keeping them on the move. And that, if you watch the difference between a bronze up to gold level in England, that's what you're going to find. You're going to find the speed of game dramatically increases.
Right. In terms of physical, do you what would you recommend as to train on? Is it like
physicality?
Yeah, like 3 times in the gym for deadlift.
So I mean, I do a bit of that myself. I run a small small strength and conditioning sort of online system, and so what I promote with the people I work with is one, explosive power on court. That's particularly through your lower limbs or your ankles especially, because what you're looking for is to be powerful. So power is strength times speed. So if you can be strong and fast and get the right kind of amount of both, so your contact time on the floor is still really quick, you're going to move quicker, you're going to jump higher, and you're going to be faster. So in the gym, that would be one of your main focuses alongside injury prevention stuff. So if you think about badminton, when I was younger, it's less now because I've done a lot of upper body stuff, but my right side was massively overdeveloped compared to my left side because I'm swinging constantly.
Yeah.
What that does is it causes you to be unaligned and it causes you to be imbalanced. So doing some upper body stuff where you're focused on your non-racket arm and making yourself a lot more balanced is going to reduce your chance of injury.
Okay.
So if most people look in the mirror, you can tell they're a badminton player because their racket arm shoulder is like massive compared to others.
I imagine so, yeah.
And then getting on something like a bike. So a watt bike in the gym, static bike, doing some interval sprints, far better than running purely because it's low impact. If you think of badminton, we're constantly slapping on the ground with our feet. Splints, injuries like that can easily come. So if you're then going, a lot of people choose to go and run. And don't get me wrong, running's a great physical exercise, but for badminton, you're then adding more stress onto your legs. So if you can get on a bike and do some interval sprints, you're going to find a lot more benefit from that.
Right. There you go. Like you got the equation right now. Power is strength equals speed, and low impact training. I think that's very interesting. Like when it comes to protecting ourselves. Like when I was back in the days in college, I don't really think about like what's the impact if I'm not playing as an international player. But the more I play lately, like I feel like I always constantly hurting myself, my knee, my arm. So what advice would you give to not, other than using protective gear, like what can we do to really improve our chance of injury?
Reduce the chance of injury. A few things. One would probably be, don't do the standard warm-up you see everyone do. So, the warm-up where they jog up and down, they do a couple of side steps, a couple of twists. Do something, that's okay to get your heart rate up and stuff, but do something where you're having to change direction, having to do little explosive jumps. Make sure you are really warm and ready to change direction randomly. If you think of badminton, we have to change direction depending on where that shuttle goes. If your body's not ready to do that, you're more likely to have an injury. Number 2 would be stuff like mobility. So making sure your body is nice and mobile. That's not just stretching, but that's kind of the range of movement you can move your body around, shoulders, knees, stuff like that. Really trying to work on that mobility just so you're less likely kind of to overdo it. And the last one, probably the most important, the one that I used to do all the time and most people end up doing, is dramatically increasing their intensity of training. So for example, if you've had 2 weeks off on holiday, you're not ready to go and train 5 days a week because you've gone from 0 training to then dramatically 5 days. What you need to do, and that massive change is what brings on injuries. If you can, you need to have a slow progression. So maybe 2 sessions a week, and then 3, and then 5. To get, even though you used to do 5 sessions a week, you can't just hop back on. So I used to have I'd have 2 weeks off before summer training, and then I'd suddenly come into summer training and go full blow into it. And I'd often get little niggles, nasty little injuries that kept me out for a week or so. And that's because I've just gone straight in gung-ho to the old training I used to do.
Yeah, I guess that's we should just do gradually. That's
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So looking ahead, what are your long-term goals, both your coaching career for development of online resources like the Badminton Zone?
Yeah, so I mean, we want to obviously see. We love doing our YouTube channel. We love doing our videoing. That would be kind of like would be a fantastic job for us. We love doing that because you access more people. Like the comments we get from on those videos and kind of from people asking different questions. We love doing all that stuff. I really enjoy my in-person coaching as well. So particularly with the young kids, sort of seeing them progress. So for me, it's having that nice balance of being able to do my in-person training, coaching, and the online stuff, and just see how far that grows. Really would be amazing, and then still play because I took a good 2 years off from properly playing, and I'm really enjoying getting back into playing again. So I want to play a few more tournaments, maybe play some club, and yeah, just enjoy playing again.
Right. How do you envision the online coaching platform fostering a sense of community in the future amongst the badminton enthusiasts? And what role can it play in connecting players globally? Maybe?
So do you mean how do I see it kind of creating a community? Yeah. So I hope. Well, one thing we would like to do at some point, or a few things, is have a massive. So that what they have in the golf is have a massive Facebook group. So a Facebook community where people can meet other players, ask questions that maybe have been lingering in their mind, and really create that connection. And then also be able to go around to different clubs. So we went to Singapore this year and went out there and did some videoing out there. We went to a few junior clubs out there. And we want to try and get this nice little kind of connection through us. I think one of the Singapore clubs was wanting to try and come over to England, do some training, maybe join in a tournament over here, and just try and be that community, that join kind of the middleman between other players and other centres, really.
That's a lot of that's a very promising future there. David, that it's been so insightful. I learned at least more than your YouTube channel here from the live. So can you refer like 2 people that you think they should come to the podcast to provide?
2 people to come on the podcast. Okay, one would be a young man called John T. Russ. Okay, if you can get him on the podcast, incredible insight, who would be brilliant for knowledge, but don't know if he'd come on it purely because he doesn't like to socialize, and that's quoted from him. Number 2 would be, if you can get him, the men's singles coach, George Bevan, who is another guy who absolutely loves badminton and is doing some really, really good stuff with the men's singles group up at Milton Keynes. And I think a lot of people could learn his years of experience in coaching.
That's good. For the audience to know, if they want to find you, contact you, where can they find you out?
Yeah, so obviously we have our Instagram, the Badminton Zone, or you can find mine, David King Coaching. And feel free to contact us on there. And then obviously you can find our YouTube channel and our site very soon.
Okay, I'll make sure that I'll put it in the show notes for everyone who are interested. You guys can just click into the Apple podcast or Shopify, Spotify, or on YouTube. It's going to be there. And you've been listening to the Badminton podcast, your go-to source for everything badminton. A big thank you for Coach David King for joining us today and sharing his journey from an international player to a renowned coach. Don't miss checking out the new online coaching platform from David King, and we hope you enjoyed the episode and gain some valuable insight. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on Spotify and Apple Podcast, which helps us a lot. So I will see you next time, guys.
Cheers.